Good evening. Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, good evening. Mr. Howalt, good evening. City department heads, and probably most importantly, or certainly most importantly, members of the public, thank you for being here this evening. We will begin this evening's City Commission meeting with a prayer, which I will lead us in, and then we will honor our flags. If you would, pray with me, please. Our Father in heaven, we look to you and just praise you and thank you for the blessings that we have each day because of your goodness and mercy to us. And God, we would ask for your mercy and your blessing for our city and region and our entire state. God, please send rain. Lord, we pray you would bless those that are out working and dealing with fires. God, we pray for your mercy to send rain and help with this difficult situation that we find ourselves in. Lord, we thank you for the privilege of living, working, and serving in Clovis. We thank you for the privilege it is to serve you in this way as elected officials, and we ask for your guidance during this meeting, and we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in honoring our country's flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I salute the flag
of the state of Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among the United cultures.
Our meeting is called to order. Would the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner George Jones.
Here.
Commissioner David Bryant.
Here.
Commissioner Helen Casaus.
Here.
Commissioner Jean Porter.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Chris Bryant.
Here.
Commissioner Juan Garza.
Here.
Commissioner Lauren Rowley.
Here.
Commissioner Megan Parler.
Here.
Mayor Michael Morris.
Here. Thank you very much, Ms. Burrows. Commissioners, next is approval of the agenda. You've had the opportunity to look over the agenda. Do you recommend rearranging or removing any of the items?
Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Motion to approve tonight's agenda came from Mayor Pro Tem Bryant. The second came from Commissioner Garza. Commissioners, please vote.
Nope.
Commissioner Jones, could I have your vote, please?
I'm not getting.
Commissioner Jones, can we have your vote, please? Do we know if we're having problems?
There he is.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioner's minute track has gone down, so if we could have a voice roll call, please.
Okay, thank you for that. So we will need to do a roll call vote on all action items until further notice. So we have a motion and a second for approval of the agenda. If we could have that roll call, please, Ms. Burrows.
Commissioner David Bryant.
Yes.
Commissioner Helen Casaus.
Yes.
Commissioner Jean Porter.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chris Bryant.
Yes.
Commissioner Juan Garza.
Yes.
Commissioner Lauren Rowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Megan Parler.
Yes.
Commissioner George Jones.
Yes.
Very well, thank you. The vote is unanimous and the agenda is adopted. Next is approval of minutes. Commissioners, in your packet, you have the minutes from the Thursday, April 7th meeting. Are there any corrections to those minutes, or is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve the April 7th minutes came from Commissioner Casaus. The second came from Commissioner Paula. Commissioners, we need a roll call vote again, please, Ms. Burrows.
Commissioner Helen Casaus.
Yes.
Commissioner Jean Porter.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chris Bryant.
Yes.
Commissioner Juan Garza.
Yes.
Commissioner Lauren Rowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Megan Parler.
Yes.
Commissioner George Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner David Bryant.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Burrows. The vote's unanimous. The minutes have been approved. Next is recognition of visitors, and many of the visitors that are here with us tonight are here for the agenda items that we have under proclamations and presentations. And but we wanted to say welcome to tonight's meeting. Thank you for being here, and to everyone in attendance, as well as those who may be following online. Thank you for your interest in what your city government is up to this evening, and we appreciate your participation. Next, proclamations, awards, and presentations. We have two planned presentations there this evening. The first is presentation of proclamation proclaiming May 2nd through 6th, 2022 as Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week. And from CMS, we have Miss Mandy Carpenter here this evening, and we would love to invite you up if you have something you would like to share on this. And while she makes her way up, Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem, I wanted to point out that many of the folks in attendance are teachers, either at CMS or at Clovis Christian School, and they're all here to receive the proclamation this evening. Ms. Carpenter, thank you for being here.
Hi, Mayor Morris and commissioners and everybody. I wasn't planning on speaking, but thank you for the opportunity. I really would like to recognize these amazing educators in the community. This is really for them. We just spend a little bit of time trying to get our community rallied around this great group of people. And we celebrate them hopefully every day, but specifically May 2nd through 6th. And we actually have quite a few businesses in our community that are participating this year. So we appreciate but can they come get it?
Absolutely,
Okay,
they
and I'd
can.
like, our
Yes.
friends from CCS are here too. We want to include them as well.
Dr. Shelley Norris.
Yes,
please,
Dr. Norris.
Would you like to come forward? And
Dr. Norris. No. Thelma and Louise here.
We miss each other.
Yes,
I bet
we
you do.
So yeah, so thank you so much. This is great. It's always nice for educators to be recognized, and educators are the heart and soul of all we do. So I want to
Yep.
thank the CCS folks for being here. It's not all of us. Everybody's kind of spread out, and welcome at Clovis Municipal Schools. So
Yep.
anyway, thank you so much.
The proclamation is actually rather short compared to many of the others. So I would love it if all of the educators here would go ahead and join these two ladies at the podium. We'll share the proclamation, and then it would be great to have a group photo. You're a fantastic group. Thank you for coming out. I know for many of you it was on very short notice, so thank you for coming out. But if I were to share a proclamation about teacher appreciation, I certainly wanted some teachers here, and so I reached out to many of you today, and my wife helped with communication, and I know that the administration of each of the schools also got the message out. But Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, you know that I'm a teacher spouse, right? So my wife has been a teacher our entire marriage, and so I know a little bit about what teachers sacrifice and what they do. And I encourage you to thank teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week, and for the public's sake as well as yours, I encourage you go for a drive some Sunday afternoon and notice the cars parked at the campuses around town. And it's these teachers doing the work that they couldn't do because there were kids in their classroom. They're perhaps cleaning, they're preparing, they're huddling and planning with their colleagues. They're doing all of that so that our kids will have a good Monday when they come into class, and that they'll have a good week and have every chance to have a great educational experience. And teachers, sometimes you'll have comments made by people who obviously don't know a teacher. They'll say things like, well, they only work half the year, or they get the summer off or whatever. Well, they don't know teachers. They work very hard all the time. I would suspect that at every one of your homes there's a place where the stacks go, right, of the papers and the things that you're working on, and you're up early and you work until late, and we just thank you and appreciate you so much. I'll share the proclamation now. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education And whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service. And whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community, now therefore I, Mike Morris, Mayor of Clovis, and on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby declare May 2nd through May 6th, 2022 as Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week in the City of Clovis, and I encourage all citizens and members of our community to join in expressing appreciation to our teachers for their dedication, devotion to their work. Thank you. Any comments from Mayor Pro Tem or the commission? Let's hear them now, and I'll make my way down for the picture and the presentation.
I'll make a quick comment. I feel like during the past, well, not the school year, but the one prior to, I went to school with my children in my kitchen, and you guys, I can't even express my gratitude for all that you did and all that it was a tough year. So thank you guys very, very much.
I'll just mention how much we appreciate all that you do. I know teaching has got to be a difficult but very rewarding job, so thank you.
Day in and day out, you guys are the ones that our kids, grandkids look up to. So we hear good things from the grandkids, and I appreciate that. So thank you for what you do.
Yes, thank you for what you do. I couldn't do it. I'd be in jail if I was a teacher. So I do appreciate it.
We're gonna delete that.
I'd like to say thank you as well. I'm kind of like Mayor Morris here. My wife was a librarian at an elementary school, so I know what time it takes and the dedication it takes. Everything you do, it's really appreciated. Thank you.
You guys you serve in a position that's often very thankless. You get a rough bunch of kids sometimes, and you probably get your more than your fair share of rough parents upset over the one side of the story that they may have heard. But we are all grateful for you, and you guys do a fantastic job of shaping our community through those kids. Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do. I know that there's a lot of teachers that I've had in my school experience that have shaped my life, and so I can think back and remember all those times. So thank you.
Any comments from any of you? I already put Carpenter on the spot, didn't I? Okay, so we like to do the photo over here, so if you all want to come this direction.
You should get up and stay behind them. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Again, thanks to all the teachers and staff. Appreciate you very much. Next, we have a presentation of proclamation proclaiming May 18th, 2022 as Nonagenarian Day. And to share with us on that, we have Ms. Barbara Riggin.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. For those that may not know me, my name is Barbara Riggin, and I am the Director for Senior Services. And I apologize if my voice is shaky. We did karaoke today at the Senior Center, so we sang for about 3 hours. I am proud to announce that the 53rd Annual Nonagenarian Tea will be held at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, May 18th at the Friendship Senior Center, located at 901 West 13th. The Nonagenarian Tea is a time to honor seniors 90 years of age and older and to share in their life experiences. We are excited to save you a seat, so if there are any seniors out there 90 plus who would like to join us, you can call our office 575-769-7908, and if you can call prior to May 13th, we would like to save you a seat. We're looking forward to hearing all of their secrets on what it takes to live to be a nonagenarian. So with that, and you're all welcome as well. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think I'll take you up on the invitation because I am interested in the secrets that they have about long life, right? Yeah. Well, thank you, Ms. Riggin. We appreciate that, and I'll share the proclamation. Whereas there are over 175,000 older New Mexicans residing in our state, and whereas you have successfully reached 90 plus years of faith, courage, and leadership in having met the challenges of the early days and the pioneering of this great country. And whereas your achievement in reaching 90 or more effective years in itself a feat many of us may not be privileged to attain. And whereas you have been a strong voice dedicated to enhancing the life, dignity, and well-being of all older people, and whereas you continue to share your talents in homes, in nursing homes, in senior centers, in communities, and in a variety of other roles, and whereas this is the 53rd year the City of Clovis has hosted the Nonagenarian Tea, which is a testament to the community's commitment to the seniors living in our community. Now, therefore, I, Mike Morris, Mayor of the City of Clovis, and on behalf of the Commission, proclaim May 18th as I have stumbled on this word. Nonagenarian Day. We proclaim May 18th as Nonagenarian Day. Forgive me.
Close enough, Mayor.
Forgive
This
me,
is where
everyone.
we thank our teachers, right?
I'll be at the T and I'll pronounce the word. In Clovis, and I urge all New Mexicans and Clovis residents, both young and old, to assist in achieving the vision that aging can be the crowning achievement of life as demonstrated by nonagenarians. Did it again.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any comments?
No
Barbara, I'll
comments.
just mention, I've attended this, I think every year I've been on the commission, and it's always a privilege to be able to come and visit with everybody there. So thank you for putting this on and making it public again.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to it.
We're excited to be able to hold it. It's been 2 years since we held it, and we were not sure if our nursing homes were going to allow seniors to come out, but so far we have 16 from nursing homes that will be in attendance.
Well, if they can do karaoke, I think they can do the tea part of it. So thank you for what you do. Putting this together takes a lot of work, and I have read Proclamation before, and nonagenarian is a tough work, Mayor, so don't feel bad about it. I practiced that word for 20 years, so it was easy for me to say it after this many years, so thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Garza has attended several, as well as Commissioner Bryant, and served tea and cake, and Commissioner Casal. So I invite all of you to attend. We look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, Ms. Reagan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barb.
All right, commissioners. that concludes that section of the agenda. So we'll move on to receipts of petitions and communications. And I know that Building Safety Director, Mr. Darren Roach, has something to share.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. Kind of give you guys an update. I do want to introduce our new code compliance supervisor. So Tim Blair has actually been with the city for almost 7 years. So I was able to steal him away from another department, and he's been a good asset since the last code compliance officer or code compliance supervisor had to move back to South Carolina for some reason. It's green over there or something. But anyway, I'd like to introduce Tim and kind of have him tell you a little bit about himself.
Sounds great. Welcome.
Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. As stated, my name is Timothy Blair. I started with the Clovis Police Department in 2015 as an animal control officer. May of last year, a position with code compliance opened up. I decided to make the application process for that. Last month, I was actually named the supervisor. I look forward to moving the city in a forward direction with new changes coming forward within the department, with the new standards set forth by the policies and ordinances set forth by the city of Clovis. I'm looking forward to working along with the ERT and the building inspectors to help keep Clovis clean. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Blair.
Thank you.
I have a handful of items that I can talk about under communications, but I wanted to extend the offer. Is there anyone else that has something they want to bring before the commission this evening? Okay, very well. I may call on Commissioner Garza to help with this one, but we wanted to make mention of a plaque that the city received at last week's United Way of Eastern New Mexico banquet.
And also Commissioner Rowley, she was there present at this event, and it was well attended, and we got this award for leading on
For being a pace setter.
pace setter.
Pace setter, and Commissioner Rowley, did you have any, I know you were at the banquet as well. Would you like to add anything?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
It was a good time, certainly, and the city was recognized as a pace setter for contributing $11,053, and that is.
Thank you for the opportunity.
We had some feedback, sorry. But that is the accomplishment of the city employees. So the recognition goes to the employees of the city of Clovis that are making a contribution to the United Way through a paycheck withholding. So congratulations to the city employees on being pace setters with making donations to the United Way. Couple of things I wanted to mention under communications. One, for commissioners, for your benefit, but also just as an announcement to the public and actually a request of the public that's using Ned Houck Park. I've heard from now 2 different folks who enjoy the park, enjoy riding ATVs on the trails, and but also enjoy using the disc golf and all of those things out at the park. But they're telling me that, and you may have heard this as well, but it sounds like that the ATVs and the side-by-sides are really kind of being used just all over the park, even in the grassy areas, even in the middle of where folks are trying to play disc golf and all of those things. And so I just want to remind everyone what a wonderful asset we have in Ned Houck Park and how much enjoyment it can bring to the citizens. But I just want to call on the citizens to please use care out there, and please use the ATVs where they're intended to be used, and make sure and keep our park safe so that families can enjoy themselves out there. Also wanted to this evening, I failed to do this at the last meeting, but I wanted to give Mr. Howalt the opportunity to talk about the reuse system. And I think that I may have caught him off guard with this, but would you like to update the public on the reuse system?
Certainly, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. And Mayor, I'm the one that gets to put you on the spot, not vice versa. So,
Okay.
no, we did reach a great accomplishment with our reuse project in the fact that we were able to get water out to Colonial Park Golf Course. And so it's a huge accomplishment. It's something that I personally have been working on since 2009, just trying to get the various phases built and constructed. And I know that some of the commissioners and our past commissioners had started working on the project obviously prior to 2009 and looking at the preliminary engineering reports and getting those things going. So it's great. We're actually wrapping up phase 2 of that project. We have the substantial completion walkthrough actually scheduled for tomorrow. And so with this portion being completed, we actually just have some minor components that are still left, trying to get to some of the bid alternates that we haven't been able to construct in the past completed. So to some of the schools down to the high school down to Dennis Chavez Park and then over to Cameo as well as the Freshman Academy is really all that remains. But for our community, as part of Water Conservation Month that we're currently in, and Mayor Pro Tem Brian is leading those efforts, it shows the importance and the dedication that the city of Clovis has committed to preserving our groundwater and recognizing the valuable resource that it is and making sure that we're conserving it for human consumption for potable needs and not using it towards irrigation needs. And so, Mayor, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to promote what the city of Clovis is doing with our reuse efforts and reaching that huge goal for the city of Clovis, getting it out to Colonial Park Golf Course. So thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your efforts on that project over the years, and what an accomplishment reaching the golf course with it. Mayor Pro Tem or Commissioners, any comments?
No, just glad to see it nearing completion. It's a great project, and it's a great water conservation project. So we appreciate it, almost getting finished.
Very good. Thank you. Wanted to mention, of course, I see Chief of Police Rice is here, as well as Captain Romero, but I just wanted to mention for the public's benefit, but since they're here, perhaps they would want to give an update on this, but I wanted to thank you, Chief and Captain, for altering the hours or adding hours at the animal shelter. The public had asked for that over the years, and recently came before the commission and asked for that, and you got it done. And so with the Saturday hours being available now, I understand that the first Saturday was successful. Now we've had a second one. I hope that it was as well. But wanted to thank you for responding to the public in that way and making those hours available. And also just wanted to mention that once again so the public could be aware that the animal shelter is open for adopting pets and the like on Saturday mornings now. And the Chief of Police has said that we're still needing volunteers. So if you want to volunteer at the animal shelter, please contact the city and get set up.
Mayor,
Yes.
who do you call? The non-emergency number at the police station? Very good, thank you. Thank you.
Great, thanks for that. So just to reiterate, if you wish to volunteer at the animal shelter and help with the workload out there, you need to contact the non-emergency number at the PD, which is 769-1921, and talk to, I believe it's Sergeant Rodriguez.
And Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, we'll put that on Facebook as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem, of course, Mayor Pro Tem knows what I'm about to tell him, but I just wanted to make you aware, you may have received some calls. I've received calls from members of the public concerned about what's going on with the healthcare providers and things in our community. Of course, Women's Medical Center has announced that they will be closing, but also PRMC has announced that they are going to step in and step up the services that they're providing in order to make up for that. And so but still, there are concerns that we're getting calls from the public on, and so Mayor Pro Tem sits on the hospital board, and he's actually organized a meeting for myself and him with the hospital administrator and perhaps others on Monday to just kind of get an update from PRMC about what their plans are for providing service to the community. And of course, we go into that meeting just interested in that information, but also how it is that maybe we can help get the message out about how it is that they're going to continue to provide service or actually step up the services that they're providing. Mayor Pro Tem, anything to add?
That's correct, Mayor. We are going to have a meeting with Mr. Cruz, which is the hospital administrator, on Monday and discuss this, and look forward to that conversation. And they have hired 3 physicians for that particular part. So, we'll get more information on Monday and hopefully get that out to the public, and everybody will know kind of what's going on and, where PRMC is headed with it.
Great, thank you for that. Anything else under communications? Anyone wish to bring something before the commission? Okay, before we move on from there, I want to make an announcement, or actually it's a plea or a challenge perhaps, but I want to, as your mayor, I want to call on the community to pray for rain. And I think that, by and large, we are a prayerful community and a prayerful group of folks living here, and we all know that we ought to be praying for rain, and we say that we do, but I wonder if we really remember to do that. So I'm challenging the community to come together and pray for rain. And even as of this afternoon, I've been in communication with faith leaders from around town, and they'll be challenging their congregations, as well as there's the possibility that the faith community may organize a community event where we can actually come together at a corporate event and pray for rain. But just look at what's going on around our state. It doesn't look well, right? And of course, we need to pray for rain for Clovis in this region as it is, but especially given the fires and the struggles that we're seeing with that around even the immediate area and around the state. I'm calling on the community to pray for rain. Thank you. All right, we will move on then in our agenda to the consent agenda. Commissioners, as you know, this item is placed on the agenda so that you can designate routine agenda items that you wish to approve or acknowledge by one motion. If any proposal does not meet with the approval of all commission members, or if a citizen so requests, that item will be heard when reached under the regular agenda. Your consent agenda has 13 items on it this evening. The first is the motion to place, and the 13th is the motion to approve or acknowledge. I'll read the other items. Excuse me. Request for approval, item 2, request for approval of adoption of resolution number 3119-2022, granting approval of a replat of Block 1, Lot 2, the Sunset Acres subdivision, City of Clovis, Curry County, New Mexico. Item 3, request for approval of adoption of ordinance number 2165-2022, changing an RS 170 residential single-family district to a commercial general district, said zone change to include a tract of land in the southeast quarter, section 4, township 2 north, range 36 east, City of Clovis, New Mexico 88101. This address is 2820 East 21st Street. Item 4, request for approval of adoption of ordinance number 2166-2022, changing an RS7 residential single-family district to an RM residential multifamily district. Said zone change to include lots 1 through 12, block 39 of West Lawn subdivision, City of Clovis, New Mexico 88101. This is at 1312 Jones. Item 5, request for approval to appoint a representative of District 1 to serve on the Public Works Committee. Item 6, request for approval of intergovernmental service agreement between the New Mexico Department of Public Safety and the Clovis Police Department. Item 7, request for approval of Fiscal Year 2021 Annual Summary Economic Development Report for Quality Liquid Feeds. Item 8, request for approval of the Cummins Project 2021 Annual Economic Development Project Summary Report. Item 9, request for approval of the Western Interconnect 2021 Annual Economic Development Summary Report. Item 10, request for approval of letter of support for mental health resources regarding their outdoor recreation Trails Plus grant application. Item 11, request for approval of CDM Smith task order for 2022-2023 landfill groundwater testing and reporting. Item 12, request for approval of CDM Smith task order for landfill air quality testing and reporting. Commissioners, that is your consent agenda. Unless there are any objections, I would entertain a motion to place the indicated items on the consent agenda by unanimous vote.
So moved.
Second.
Motion for approval or motion to place the indicated items on the consent agenda by unanimous vote came from Commissioner Casals, second from Commissioner Garza. I'm
It was
sorry.
Commissioner
The motion.
Paula.
I think there were multiple.
Okay, we're going to give this one, Commissioner Rowley, did you make the motion?
Commissioner Paula.
Commissioner
Paula did.
Paula made the motion.
Okay, the motion came from Commissioner Paula, the second came from Commissioner Garza, and that's our story.
That's our story. Let's take into it.
Commissioners, please vote. And I understand that the system is back up.
Nope.
Maybe it's not. Okay. Ms. Burrows, could we have a roll call on that, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Chris Bryant,
Yes.
Commissioner Juan Garza,
Yes.
Commissioner Lauren Rowley,
Yes.
Commissioner Megan Parler,
Yes.
Commissioner George Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner David Bryant,
Yes.
Commissioner Helen Casals,
Yes.
Commissioner Jean Porter.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Burrows, and the motion is carried unanimously. Now, is there a motion to approve or acknowledge all items on the consent agenda?
I'll move.
Okay. Motion to approve coming from Commissioner David Bryant,
Second.
second from Commissioner Casals. Burrows, could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Juan Garza,
Yes.
Commissioner Lauren Rowley,
Yes.
Commissioner Megan Parler,
Yes.
Commissioner George Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner David Bryant,
Yes.
Commissioner Helen Casals,
Yes.
Commissioner Jean Porter,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Chris Bryant.
Yes.
And the motion is carried. Thank you, Ms. Burrows. Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem will move on in the agenda to introduction and adoption of resolutions and ordinances. 4 items there this evening. The first is request for approval of adoption of resolution number 3117-2022, declaring the eligibility and intent of the City of Clovis to submit an application to the New Mexico Department of Transportation for the Transportation Project Fund. And to advise on this is Kelsey Knight.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. The City of Clovis is submitting an application to the Transportation Project Fund for the Phase 3 of the Martin Luther King project. We applied for this grant program last year to fund the last phase of 7th Street. We received $5.9 million from the state to do so. And this year we're applying for MLK. Our project will be between 7th and 21st Street to include a complete rebuild of the roadway with the addition of sidewalks, bike lanes, ADA, drainage, and expanded lanes. The application will request $4.6 million, and we will be providing a match of 43% or $3.5 million for a total project cost of $8.1 million. And I'm open for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Knight. Appreciate that. Mayor Pro Tem or Commissioners, do we have questions?
No questions. I'm just glad to see this happen.
Is that a motion?
Music to my ears.
that a
Yes.
motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve from Commissioner Casals and a second from Commissioner Garza. Is there any further debate? Hearing and seeing none, what is before you is the approval of adoption of resolution number 3117-2022. Commissioners, please vote. it does look like the system is up.
Cool.
Commissioner Jones, can I have your vote, please?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. By a vote of 8 in favor, none opposed, the motion is carried. Ms. Knight, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Commissioners, we have item 2 under this section of the agenda, and it is request for approval of adoption of resolution number 3118-2022, an agreement of City of Clovis approving participation in the programs of the Eastern Plains Council of Governments for fiscal year 2022-2023, and appointing a designated representative and alternate. To advise, Ms. Burrows.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. This is the annual resolution, an agreement with the Eastern Plains Council of Governments for the services that they provide the City of Clovis. The annual cost of these services is $9,152 for this next fiscal year, which is the same as last year. As stated by you, Mayor, we also are looking for a representative to serve on the board and an alternate too. And Sandy Chansey, who's the executive director, and Vincent Soul, who's the deputy director, are also here this evening. And while they're walking up, if I may, Mayor, I'd just like to thank them very much for all their work with this Health Resources and Service Administration grant. This huge task that we've been working on, I know they've been doing a lot over the last week or so to help expedite that, so thank you.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Our thanks as well on that. I know there's a lot of work going into that, and we appreciate you being here this evening. I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. I apologize, I do not have a formal presentation prepared for you tonight, as I normally would. I was not aware we were on tonight's commission agenda until about 10 minutes after 5. So we did bring some of our brochures for those of you that are new to the commission that may not know who we are and what we do. We are your regional planning and development organization, designated as District 4 by the state of New Mexico. City of Clovis has been a member since the inception of the COG, back originally in 1969 and then restructured in 1972. So for those of you that are not familiar with our services, they are outlined in your membership agreement. Implement the work program as established by the Board of Directors for the fiscal year. That covers a lot. Our annual work plan is about 6 pages long. That is what we submit to the Department of Finance Administration. Then we have other work plans that govern our agreement with the Economic Development Administration, as we are a federally designated economic development district, and the Department of Transportation, because we do still co-facilitate both the Northeast and Southeast Regional Transportation Planning Organizations. Through that organization, we do review all of the funding applications that are going into the Transportation Project Fund application process, as Kelsey just presented to you, one of yours. So we also help with infrastructure and capital improvements planning, community development block grant applications, whatever the city needs us to help them with as far as planning or funding applications or technical assistance with a grant that they're currently working on, we are here to help you with that. As Claire said, we are asking you to appoint a representative and an alternate. For the last 8 years, Commissioner Fidel Madrid has been your representative to the EPCOG board and has been our chairman. And Commissioner Casals has been his alternate. So tonight, you guys need to decide who's going to step into Fidel's shoes. So I'll be happy to stand for any questions.
Well, Ms. Chansey, thank you. Thank you for all you do. You made a statement in there, something to the effect of whatever the city needs help with, we do that.
Yes, that is in a nutshell what we are here for.
And I know that that's the truth. In my couple of years now of being involved, I know that to be the truth. So thank you to you, Ms. Chansey, as well as you, Mr. Soul, for all that you do at the COG to support the city of Clovis. Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem, questions, discussion, debate?
I would make a motion to appoint Commissioner Casals.
Second.
I accept.
Okay, okay. So, we would then, the motion would be for approval of resolution number 3118-2022, as well as appointing Commissioner Casals as the representative. We have a motion and a second. We need to select an alternate as well.
Yes.
I would like to appoint Commissioner Bryant.
Commissioner David Bryant?
David Bryant, yeah, I forgot we have two Bryants now. Yes, but I did say Commissioner, didn't say Mayor
You did,
Pro Tem.
you did. I was just making sure.
I'll second that.
Okay, and so, okay, now we have a couple of, let's go back and, would you, can we amend the original, let's just,
Mayor, I think it may be easier just to do one at a time.
okay,
So start with the main and then the alternate.
okay. Very well. We have a motion from Commissioner David Bryant and a second from Commissioner Garza to approve the resolution and appoint Commissioner Casals as the representative to the COG. Commissioners, please vote. Commissioner Jones, can I have your vote, please?
Yes.
Thank you. By a vote of 8-0, the motion is carried. Congratulations, Commissioner
Thank you.
Casals, and thank you for serving there. Appreciate that. Next, we did have a motion and a second. The motion from Commissioner Garza was to appoint Commissioner David Bryant as the alternate, and Commissioner Casals seconded that motion. Unless there's any further debate, Commissioners, please vote. Commissioner Jones, your vote, please.
Yes.
Thank you. By a vote of 7 in favor and 1 abstention, the motion is carried. Commissioner David Bryant, congratulations and thank you for being willing to serve as the alternate. Very well. Thank you again, Ms. Chansey.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. I will have a formal annual report of the activities of the COG at our annual meeting, June the 8th in Logan. So I'll be forwarding a copy of that to Ms. Burrows and Mr. Howalt to send to all of you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item 3 under this section, and it is request for approval of introduction of an ordinance relating to the Unified Development Ordinance and amending section 1745080D and section 1745080E of the sign code. And I'll call on our city attorney, Mr. Morris.
Thank you, Mayor.
Talk to us about the sign code. We haven't talked about that lately.
Not.
So,
And this is the first of what'll probably be a few changes to the sign code. I think it'll be a little bit of a work in progress, but these two changes relate to the temporary election signs, and so the changes are twofold. If you recall, the sign code is divided into a residential portion and then a CBD, commercial, general, and industrial portion. And so there are two sets of changes. I included the proposed ordinance in your packet along with the current version of the text as it reads, and then the proposed changes. The changes were a result of, I think, public input to city administration, and then city administration going to Planning and Zoning Commission. Planning and Zoning Commission met on Wednesday of last week and approved these two changes. The first would be to eliminate the requirement that a property can only have one temporary sign and allow essentially unlimited temporary election signs. And then the second change would be to increase the amount of time those signs can be displayed. Right now, the code reads 30 days prior to election day, so primary election day or general election day, whatever it is. The proposed text amendment would be 30 days prior to early voting. It seems like it gives candidates more time, and that was the request that we had heard. So with that, I would be happy to stand for any questions, Mayor.
thank you, Mr. Morris. Appreciate that. Pretty straightforward explanation. Commissioners, do you have questions, comments, concerns?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve from Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, second from Commissioner Garza. Is there any further debate? Hearing and seeing none, please vote. Commissioner Jones, can I have your vote, please?
Yes.
Thank you. By a vote of 8-0, the motion is carried. Thank you. And thanks again, Mr. Morris. We'll move on to item 4. It is request for introduction of an ordinance pertaining to economic development, adopting an economic development plan, describing targeted qualifying entities and industry, establishing criteria to determine eligibility for aid, describing the information required in an economic development application, describing the procedure to verify the application information, describing the project participation agreement, describing the procedures for handling project revenues, identifying other revenue sources used to support economic development projects, identifying local resources available for economic development projects, detailing the minimum benefits required from a qualifying entity, describing the safeguards of public funds that will be used, and repealing existing code sections. That's a mouthful of an agenda item here this evening. Mr. Howalt and others, but certainly him leading the way on it, have done an awful lot of work in the last few months on this, so I'll ask him to advise further on this. Mr. Howalt.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. And yes, it is a mouthful of a title, and I assure you we did not change that much in the ordinance itself. So obviously, since the citizens approved allowing economic development dollars to be used towards the recruitment of retail and establishing retail incentives to bring those businesses in, this commission moved forward with developing a LEDA for Retail task force. And so over the last couple of months, that task force has been working on the revisions to this ordinance, as well as developing policies and procedures that relate to how we will implement and utilize our economic development processes for recruiting and developing incentives for retail businesses. Those policies and procedures, they'll eventually be adopted by this commission by resolution. And since it's by resolution, we didn't need to introduce it and then adopt it at a later meeting. So obviously with this ordinance, we needed to get this in place first in order to so it would make sense to adopt those policy procedures at a future meeting. The task force presented those to the Economic Incentive Board at their April 12th meeting, as well as this ordinance, and heard some feedback from the Economic Incentive Board, and those minutes were contained within your packet. And then made a recommendation for approval to the City Commission, and that's what you're seeing in front of you this evening. If you turn to packet page 115 in your packets, the major changes were adding retail is an eligible economic development activity, as well as instead of just calling out business throughout the document, underneath qualifying entities, there's definitions established for what a qualifying entity is, and it's several different things. And so we wanted to reflect that throughout the document just versus using a singular definition for a business. So you'll notice that throughout the document. The other change that I would point out to you is on packet page 118. Under infrastructure, since we're now dealing with retail establishments, we expanded on the definition of infrastructure to include parking lots and other site improvements. We felt that obviously what you qualify for and what qualifies for incentives needed to be expanded to allow, obviously, with retail businesses. It's not just a building. There's also additional site improvements in there that we wanted to make sure that we are included. And then, of course, I highlighted, or once again on packet page 118, line 34, that's where qualifying entities definitions came into play. And so on packet page 119, you'll see we added the definition for retail as item I within the ordinance itself. Those were the major changes throughout the document itself. You've had a chance, hopefully, to review it, and with that, I would stand for any questions that you may have regarding the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Howalt, and And thank you to you as well as Ms. Burrows for all of the work. Obviously, this commission did appoint a LEDA task force that met. Do you know how many times they met? No less than 6,
Yes,
8 times,
absolutely.
something like that.
And it was great conversation.
Yeah, and, you know, I made the comment, I believe, at the last meeting that, you know, if you were doing just about anything, that would be a great task force. That was a great group of folks, and so the conversation was great. This concept was well vetted, but it meant a lot of work for Mr. Holwalt and Ms. Burrows as they, you know, did the research, redlining the ordinance, you know, doing that again at a next meeting when there were more changes and things like that. And so they've just put a lot of time into this. I look at what's before you as you know, a necessary step. We need to change the local ordinance to align with what the now state law allows us to do with retail development, or incentivizing retail development. And then the really good stuff is what comes next, and that is the policies and procedures, or the application of what the LEDA task force has arrived at as a recommendation to EIB, and of course EIB is recommending to you of how we'll actually use this going forward. But this evening, this would amend our local ordinance to align with the now state law, allowing a city like ours to incentivize retail development. Any questions? Debate?
I have no questions. I just want to say thanks to the board for their hard work and putting all this together. And with that, I move for approval.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Garza. We have a motion for approval from Commissioner Garza.
Second.
And a second from Commissioner David Bryant. Commissioners, please vote. Commissioner Jones, your vote, please.
Yes.
Thank you. And Commissioner Jones, I'd actually give you the floor if you wanted to make any comments. Obviously, you served on that task force, and but before I do, the vote is unanimous, 8-0. The motion is carried.
I would just like to say thank you to the task force. I think, as Mr. Holwalt said, we had some great conversations, and we're coming forward with a great ordinance and an even better policy and procedure when it comes time.
Outstanding. Well, thank you for the work that you put in on that, and I appreciate the comments, Commissioner Jones. Thank you. Again, the motion is carried. An effort that started 2 years ago, and we're moving forward. Steady progress. Thank you, everyone. Very excited about your support on that. We'll move on in the agenda. Nothing under unfinished, but we do have 3 items under new business. The first is request for approval of appointment of 1 citizen member to serve on the Economic Incentive Board as a representative of District 1. Ms. Burrows, calling on you a lot tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. As you know, Commissioner Jones is now with the City Commission, and therefore the Economic Incentive Board has a vacancy for District 1. The position was advertised, and Mr. Jarawala and Mr. Crispin have applied to serve, and an election is therefore needed, and I believe both gentlemen are here this evening. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you for that. Well, great to have 2 people interested in this position. We would like to hear from each of them. I suppose we'll just take them in the order that they're in our packet, and that would be Mr. Jarawala first. We'd love to hear from you about your interest in serving on Economic Incentive Board.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. My name is Dhaval Jariwala. I go by Danny, and I reside at 140 Scottsdale Drive in Clovis, New Mexico. I had initially applied for a position at the Lodges Tax vacancy, but I had noticed that there were a couple of candidates already applied for it, so I thought that I would take that opportunity to apply for this new vacancy, and which I was always interested in, on the Economic Incentive Board. So I took that opportunity to apply for that position. Just a little background that I'm a business owner in Clovis since last 7 years, ever since I moved in Clovis. Before that, I always worked my way up from bottom till all the way to general manager, handled the same hospitality business for other businessmen or business owners. So I do have a little background on that, about what the expectations of a new business coming into a community or any kind of incentive that they would be looking for. So I would just like to use that background in order to faithfully execute my duty as if elected, on the board, and make honest recommendation to the City Commission. That's pretty much what I have to say, and I'm glad. I actually congratulate the second candidate as well, and I always encourage the citizens to take part in the board vacancies, and show some kind of interest. With that, if there are any questions for me, I'll be able to take them right
Certainly. Thank you for that. And you are a good citizen. You've always been involved, and you've come before this commission and shared with us in the past. So glad to see you applying and looking to serve in this way. Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem, any questions for Mr. Jarawala? That'll do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, Mr. Crispin? Yeah. Welcome. Thank you for your interest in serving on the Economic Incentive Board. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and good evening, Commission. My name is Isaac Crispin. I'm a recent transplant. I'm active duty military, but I'm only applying as a private citizen, so keep that. I know that's sometimes sensitive, but I'm interested in public service for a number of reasons. My undergraduate degree, I started out political science and realized I didn't want to go to law school. Took a couple classes and then double majored in economics. Wonderful teacher, which is a good call out tonight. Barry Love, so Dr. Love, really inspired me to love public service, because I started to get a picture of how important economic outcomes of communities are to, and how they're intertwined with sound government. And so public service has been a running theme for me. I did an internship, a summer internship in the planning department, and after I graduated, I served on industrial development authority of that same town. So I do have some prior experience in a related field as this vacancy. At my first base that I was stationed at, I attempted to do the same thing I'm doing here tonight. I tried to apply as a private citizen, and everyone was excited for me to be serving and putting myself out there, because I know a lot of times maybe you don't always see, but there's a large community here that contributes a lot to Clovis. And there's a lot of different constituents. But well, I'd also like to say I didn't hear my name for I applied to 2 commissions tonight, or 2 boards, and I didn't hear my name mentioned on the other. I'd like to know if I was approved on the public works.
Yes, because you were the only applicant for that one. That was actually in our consent agenda, so I guess congratulations is in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, I wanted to just introduce myself a little bit and say that I'm excited to be here. But for the prior time that I tried to do this, it was a technicality. I lived on base, and so it was a federal enclave, and I didn't technically live in the town. Now I purchased my first home. I happened to be in District 1, and I saw these openings. And I've been overseas for 3 years, and I'm excited to be back in the United States. I'm excited to be in what I do now call home, in Clovis, New Mexico. And knowing that I've already earned the opportunity tonight to be able to serve, I would actually now like to step back from this second opening and allow the other applicant uncontested to serve on this board.
Well, Mr. Crispin, that's noble of you, admirable of you.
Hearing his background, he's got a lot of experience here in the town, and I think he would be able to contribute quite a bit.
Well,
Thank you
that's
very much.
very noble of you, and I wanted to say thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
And I love that you call this home now.
Yes.
And you said this is the first home you've purchased?
First home, yes.
And
I'm
you bought
excited.
in Clovis, New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
You've made this home, and you're already engaged in the process. And so we're fortunate to have you. And if that is your final decision to
Yes, sir, yes.
withdraw yourself from consideration,
I think that's the best course of action. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'm not trying to be greedy. I just want to participate.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Look
sir. Crispin?
forward to working with you.
Mayor, I'd like to say
How about
something.
that? Yes, Commissioner Porter.
Mr. Crispin, I just want to tell you thank you. It is exciting for me. Actually, I'm a child of the military, and I was brought here and actually literally born at Cannon Air Force Base when they had a hospital. It excites me to see a military member come in and want to serve on boards. For that, your perspective will be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Mr. Jarawala, congratulations. You are appointed to the Economic Incentive Board.
Mayor, we
I
still
suppose
need
we
a,
need
we
to
still
take
need
a
a vote.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Still need to vote?
we still need to vote,
We
yes.
can go unanimous vote. Proclamation.
Okay, vote by acclamation. All those in favor of appointing Danny Jarawala to the Economic Incentive Board signify by saying aye.
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 And those opposed, same sign. It is unanimous. Congratulations on your appointment to the EIB. Thank you. Appreciate it. What a deal. That was great. Next, Commissioners, we have item 2 under new business, and it is request for approval to appoint one citizen member from District 1 to serve on the Senior Services Committee. Ms. Burrows.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. Ms. Donna Labatt's term on the Senior Services Committee is expired and the position was advertised. Ms. Labatt has applied to serve a further term. Ms. Sabre Smith has also applied to serve and an election is therefore needed. Thank you.
Thank you for that. It's always great when we have multiple applicants interested in a position. We would love to hear from each of the applicants. We'll take them in the order that they're in the packet, and Ms. Donna Labatt is first.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, and staff. I have been associated with the Senior Services Committee since it was actually one time known as the Older Adults. And I think I decided to join it when I became eligible to be a senior citizen, somewhere around 55, may have been 65. But I've been with it for a number of years. I can go back to at least 2016, 2017, when I began to serve on it. At the time I joined it, it was a very low-key organization. There was not going on very much, and I felt that it needed to have an injection of some energy and leadership. So in taking that position and asking one early on, I said I would like to be president of this organization because that was the one of the offices available at the time. And I quickly realized how big a job it was and how many people are involved and how many more people out there in the community who should be involved, but for any number of reasons are not taking advantage of the services that the Senior Services Committee offers. One of the challenges, of course, was to improve the senior services, the center, the Friendship Center, which I saw in the other day when I was looking through old newspapers. It was brand new in 1985. But if you've been to the building, it's not a very strong building. It's a metal building, and it has served a purpose. We realized that it needed to be improved upon, and we set about, with the wonderful guidance of Ms. Burrows, to establish a new organization, a new center. And I have been really at the head of that since the very, very beginning, and I would like to see it all the way through. I did all the legwork along with the committee members and some other people, identifying the right site for it, looked at a number of places, looked at the costs, finally settled on Hillcrest, made that recommendation to the commission, and that's the one you accepted. We went on to get the money and funding for a design. We made the design. At every step of the way, I always was looking for input from other people. I am basically a person who is extremely democratic and egalitarian. I like to have input from everyone all the time. So we were very careful about inviting everyone to make comments, even to the point of what colors different parts of the organization would look like, different parts of the building would look like. We had a number of constraints in deciding the actual physical layout of the building, managed to work all of those out. Now, most recently, at the end of this last legislative session, we got the money to actually go ahead and start building it. When I say start building it, the money isn't quite there yet, but it's on its way. And I think it would be to the city's advantage for me to remain on the committee and see it through to its completion. So I ask for your vote for that and to keep me on the committee for the remainder of this effort. And I now stand for any questions that anyone may have.
Thank you for that, Ms. Labatt. Do we have questions? No questions. Well done.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from our second applicant for this position, Ms. Sabra Smith.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. I am Sabra Smith, and I would appreciate your support and nomination to serve on the Senior Services Committee. First and foremost, my priority would be to continue the exceptional work that has been done by this committee and dedicate myself to be an active member on the committee as well as in the community. In my day-to-day life, I work with older and aging adults and see a need to help this growing population that we will all someday be a part of, hopefully the 90 and above population. I look forward to being a part of this committee, to establish the next generation of leaders, to build and grow the new senior center, as well as to accomplish and bring programs for the benefits of older adults. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Smith? Well done. Thank you. Any further discussion or debate on this appointment? There being none, vote by written ballot. Be sure to print and sign your name on your ballot. And Commissioner Jones is sending his vote in, correct? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, I'm still impressed by what we witnessed with the applicants for the Economic Incentive Board. Hadn't seen that before. Very, very noble. I'm excited about Mr. Crispin as well as Mr. Jarawala serving on their respective committees and boards. Economic Incentive Board is, if we get our way, about to be very busy with retail development projects as well as the industrial development projects. And so an important board, as is the Senior Services Committee, as was mentioned with the planned construction of the new senior center. This is a key board, a busy board for the near future, certainly.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, Ms. Labatt has been elected to serve a further term. Thank you.
Great. Ms. Labatt, congratulations. Thank you for that. Ms. Smith, thank you for your interest and for serving in the many places that you do as well. Thank you. Commissioners, we will move on to the last item under new business, and it is request for approval of commission, committee, board assignments. Ms. Burrows, would you like to share with us on that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. I have given you a large sheet of paper which contains all the boards and committees that the City Commission sits on, including the City Clovis committees, Chamber of Commerce, Water Authority, Water Commission, and some other committees. So if you could advise me as to how you would like to proceed with this evening, that would be great. Of course, we have the commission earlier on with the EPCOG has made a decision regarding that one further
Correct.
down the
Great.
bottom of that form. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, in the packet, of course, you have the smaller, so I wanted to say thanks for providing the larger worksheets to work from. And I thought, well, we can move as quickly through this list as you like, and we can stop and discuss and debate assignments on some of these if you like, but let's go down the line. It'll be a great, I think, refresher for everyone, and perhaps introduction for the newer commissioners as to just how it is that we staff these different committees and boards. We can begin with the first one there, the Animal Control Task Force. And I believe all of those positions are held by currently serving folks, and so if you wish to continue serving there, that would be fine, unless someone new wants to put their hand up to serve on that one.
I'll stay on.
I'm willing to continue to serve.
Okay, Commissioner Garza?
Same here.
Same,
I spoke
okay.
with Commissioner Jones, and he's okay with
Okay.
serving on that.
Okay, very well, and that is, of course, a committee that meets as needed, or a task force that meets as needed, and so Commissioner Rowley, Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, did you want to continue?
Yes.
As far as, okay, Commissioner Casals, Commissioner Garza, and myself will continue serving there. Charter Review, we don't need to appoint anyone to Charter Review because we only do that once every 10 years, thank goodness. And we did that in 2021. Of course, we can skip the next one there, City Commission, and move on to Civic Center Policy Committee.
I'll continue.
Commissioner Casals will continue, and refresh my memory, it's just that we need one commissioner serving there? Okay.
That's correct.
And Commissioner
At one
Casals is
commissioner at large.
content to continue serving there. Does anyone wish to put your name in for that one? I'm not seeing anyone interested in that, so we'll continue down the Civil Aviation Board. I believe that's another one where we simply need one member of the commission serving, and I serve there, and I would like to continue serving there unless someone wants to debate that.
I'm okay with that.
Very well. We'll okay, I'll continue there. The Economic Incentive Board is listed there, but interestingly, or so that everyone understands, we don't have elected officials sit on that board. So there's no need to appoint someone from this commission to that board. However, the subcommittee of that board, the Economic Incentive Board IRB subcommittee, does require that the mayor serve there, as well as one commissioner. And Commissioner Casals, you currently are the one that would serve there.
I think Commissioner David Bryant.
That's, yes, if
that one.
that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone in agreement with that, or was there anyone else that wanted to serve there as well?
I'm good.
Okay. Very good. Commissioner Jones, I don't want to forget you. Please chime in if you like. Next, the Finance Committee. Remind me what the required makeup of the Finance Committee is.
It's the Mayor Pro Tem, and then 2 commissioners.
Okay, so we simply need 2 commissioners to serve, or to, yes, to be.
I would like to sit on that if possible.
Okay.
Continue what Commissioner Madrid was doing.
Okay, very good. There is the open spot created by Madrid.
And I would also like to take Mr. Burns' spot.
Okay, So unless anyone wants to discuss that further, we would add Commissioner Jones and Commissioner David Bryant to the Finance Committee. Very well. Insurance Committee. Mayor Pro Tem, looks like you represent the commission there. Are you content with?
I'm fine with remaining there.
All right, very good. And the same with the next one, the Library Board.
I'm fine with that as well.
Okay. No one objects or would like to replace the Mayor Pro Tem there? Okay. Lodgers Tax Advisory Board. Currently, we have Commissioner Garza.
I
sitting
would
on
like to
that board.
continue on that if it's okay.
Okay, everyone is in agreement there. The Local Emergency Planning Committee, Commissioner Paula, looks like you sit there now.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to stay.
Okay, very good. Senior Services Committee, this is another one where we simply need a representative from this commission, and I currently do that, and I would like to continue there unless someone wants to take my spot.
You're it.
Okay. Parks, Recreation and Beautification Committee. Now, this would be one where we need a commission member from each district. Correct?
That's correct.
I
Okay.
would like to take that one for District 3.
Okay.
I'd like to stay.
I would like to have District 1.
Very well. Thank you, Commissioner Jones.
And I'd like to continue Commissioner Elliott's previous position.
Okay. Well, that does it. That will take care of that one. Very good. Next is the Planning and Zoning Commission. Commissioner Garza, you sit on that commission.
I would love to continue doing that.
And he would like to continue. Does anyone want to speak up for that spot? Very well. Thank you for your continued service there, Commissioner Garza. Public Works Committee, this would be another one where we have a commissioner from each district. We had Commissioner Elliott vacate that committee when he didn't run for re-election.
Here again, I'd like to just continue with what Commissioner Madrid was doing, if that's fine.
Okay.
I would like to have District 1.
Very well. Thank you, Commissioner Jones.
And again, I'd like to continue what Commissioner Elliott was positioned there.
Okay. Very good. And Mayor Pro Tem, are you?
Yeah, and I'd like to remain on there.
Okay. So Mayor Pro Tem will continue representing District 4, if that's all right. Commissioner Paula? Mayor Pro Tem will continue.
I thought I was
okay.
being put on there. I
No.
thought, what?
Surprise. Okay, Revenue Review Committee, I believe we need to appoint because revenue review does need to take place in 2022. Remind me about the required makeup of that, Ms. Burrows?
I think it's one from each commission district.
One from each.
Yes.
Okay.
I
All
can-
right, let's go District 1. Who will serve?
Commissioner Jones, you want to get involved in this one, get a little knowledge of what's going on with that process?
Yes, Commissioner Garza, I'll take that one.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. District 2, Commissioners Rowley and Porter, who will serve?
I can serve on that one, Mayor.
Okay. And District 3?
I can serve if it's okay with Ellen.
You like that? Okay. Very well. And District 4?
Commissioner Paula, would you like to take that one?
Sure.
Okay.
Great. Water Policy Advisory Committee. This is one where we need a commissioner from each district.
I'd like to remain on that one.
I would like to remain on that one as well, Mayor.
Okay, very
I'd
good.
like to continue with what Commissioner Madrid.
Commissioner David Bryant is interested in continuing or taking the District 3 position. Commissioner Jones, are you interested in the
Yes.
District 1 position? Thank you.
Yes.
Very well. Any objections to those?
No.
Okay. And I know Ms. Burrows is tracking all of this, so then next we have the Chamber of Commerce. We need to appoint someone from this commission to represent you there. Currently, Commissioner Casaus does that.
I'll continue.
And
It's
she
okay.
would like to continue unless someone wants to speak up. Very well. The Committee of 50.
That is the mayoral
I was told when I was elected that the mayor is on that committee and represents you there, so I'll obviously continue that. Clovis Curry Chamber Railroad Committee. Looks like that's one where we ask for someone from each district.
And I'll continue.
I'll continue as well.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
And Mayor Pro Tem Bryant will continue in District 4. Commissioners Garza and Jones, who will take the,
I'll take that one.
okay,
I'm okay with it.
very well, thank you. Moving to the next section, we have the Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority. Currently, the three positions that we have on that board are occupied by Mayor Pro Tem, who serves as secretary on that board, Commissioner Garza, who is a voting member on that board, and myself, and I chair that board. I imagine everyone is okay with us continuing
I'm okay with
the
it.
way we are there?
Yep.
Okay.
And they're 2-year terms, Mayor, that will be
They're-
coming.
Oh, okay.
I'm interested in the next term.
Very, very well. And then Ute Water Commission, I represent us there. The Ogallala Land and Water Conservancy, again, I represent us there unless someone wants to discuss that.
And Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, Commissioner Garza, you're okay to carry on as the alternate for the Ute Water Commission?
Yeah, that's fine unless somebody else wants to
Oh,
get involved.
I'm
with it.
sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so Commissioner Garza will continue as the alternate with the Ute Reservoir Water Commission. Very well, and I'll continue representing us with the Land and Water Conservancy. And then the Eastern Area Workforce Development Board, Commissioner Casaus, looks like you represent us there.
Yeah, and in all the years I've been in the commission, we've never had a meeting. So I'll continue.
Well, you're ready.
I'm ready.
If they have one, you're ready. Okay, very good. And then we dealt with the Eastern Plains Council of Governments earlier in appointing Commissioner Casaus as the representative and Commissioner David Bryant as the alternate. The Plains Regional Medical Center Hospital Board, Mayor Pro Tem, you represent us there.
I'd like to remain on that.
Very well. Any objections to that?
I haven't had a good meal in a while, so.
Okay.
No, I'm okay with it.
Very good. Main Street ex officio position, we have someone from the commission represent us there, and currently that's Commissioner Casaus. Thoughts on that? Are you wanting to?
Commissioner Porter would like to take that, and I'm fine with that.
Yes, with your blessing, of course, Commissioner Casaus.
Outstanding. Thank you, Commissioner Porter. You will represent us in that ex officio position on Clovis Main Street. And then we have the Economic Development Planning Steering Committee. This is a new one. Commissioner Paula and Commissioner Burns were appointed to that. And so, Commissioner Paula, I assume you would like to continue serving, and then we need to.
I would like to have the Commissioner Burns spot.
Okay. And Commissioner George Jones will take the other spot unless there is any objection to that or discussion.
Mayor, is that just a two-seat?
How is that organized?
I mean,
It's a temporary
yes.
committee.
Yeah, if Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, I mean, if you would like to add another commissioner to it, you're certainly welcome to do
Commissioner
so.
Porter, are you interested in that?
I think I'd like to add to that if that's all right.
The work will be completed in the TIP strategies are due to give a presentation to the commission on July the 21st with the report. So that's how much longer this committee will go for.
Well,
Initially, you decide to carry on somehow.
Right.
I would suspect that if it's already at the end of its life, then that would do me no good to sit at the end of that.
It's up to you.
Okay. I mean, if you like, there'll be a few more meetings.
Yeah, there's
And
more work to be done.
Yeah, and Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, exactly, if you want to attend, there's nothing from stopping anybody. It's just a steering committee where we're gathering and garnering feedback and kind of shaping the direction of how we work through the process.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks for that explanation. So you would just want to attend if you're available?
Yes.
Okay, Very good. So
I'll add you to the notification.
officially, we've appointed Commissioner Paula and Commissioner Jones to that committee. And that, I believe, takes care of all committee and board assignments. And we need a motion.
Thank you. Motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Motion for approval from Commissioner David Bryant, second from Commissioner Gene Porter. Commissioners, please vote. And Commissioner Jones, your vote, please.
Yes.
Thank you. And it is unanimous. The motion is carried. Thank you all for the many places that you serve on committees and boards. Appreciate that very much. We will move on to reports of boards, officers, and committees. Before we do the monthly investment report, I wanted to take a moment and should have thought and covered this during receipts of petitions and communications when we mentioned the Eastern New Mexico, or the United Way of Eastern New Mexico banquet. Commissioner Casals was honored and recognized with the prestigious Patricia Bazar Volunteer of the Year Award at that banquet. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. I was sorry that I couldn't attend. At that point, I didn't have a voice, so I couldn't speak. But I was very honored that I would be nominated, and I share that award with all of the chamber ambassadors and everybody that volunteers throughout the community. There's a lot of organizations that they depend on volunteers, so I am happy to be one of them, that I am able to do it.
Well, I'm very proud for you that you are recognized for doing that. I know that you don't serve for the recognition, but you
No.
certainly deserved the recognition, so congratulations
Well,
on
thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, I think that came with a $500 check also that was given to the Salvation Army.
that. Oh, very nice.
Yes, it was a $500 check that went to the charity of my choice, which was the Salvation Army.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Do we have a monthly investment report?
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, Ms. Melanson has provided me a well-highlighted document here, so we'll go with it.
Fire away, Mr. Howell.
Thank you. So for the month ending March 31, 2022, we started the month with $55.8 million beginning cash, and ended the month with $57.3 million. The general fund, Fund 1, has $5.8 million. Solid Waste, Fund 2, $2.8 million. The Environmental Tax, Fund 6, has $8.6 million. The Wastewater Fund, Fund 10, $4.6 million. The Economic Development Fund, Fund 64, $3.9 million. The 1/4% Water GRT, Fund 66, $5.8 million. The American Rescue Plan, Fund 94, $4.7 million. We have a total of $3.9 million cash in bank, and then we have $25.3 million invested in the state investment pool, which for the month of March was at 0.12%, up from 0.08% in February. The monthly interest earned was $4,163, and 9-month year-to-date interest earned is $35,820.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Any questions for Mr. Howalt on the monthly investment report?
And Mr. Mayor, I guess the one thing I would add is that our gross receipts tax has come in, and it's gone up. And we're still looking very good for this fiscal year, so hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at the reports, and if you have any questions, please let us know.
Outstanding. That continues to be a bright spot and good news each month. So, yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Next, do we have a report from the Water Policy Advisory Committee meeting, which took place on April 11th?
We do, Mayor, thank you. The water policy focuses mostly on water conservation, and so most of our water conservation projects are either near completion or under completion. And so most of everything that's been going on with water policy has been updates from different organizations such as Zipcore and things like that. So we did get an update regarding April as a Water Conservation Month. Ms. Knight gave a report on all the information that's been provided to the citizens as far as information being available and handouts at City Hall as well as the library. Mr. Holwalt gave an update on the city projects. Mr. Ortega, which is the Executive Director of the Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority, gave an update on the pipeline project and also talked about the infrastructure bill. Mr. Huerta with EPCOR gave an update and mentioned that they will now be opening up their offices again from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday, which was good news. And the committee also decided that we will change our meetings to quarterly meetings instead of monthly meetings. And so we'll be able to provide a lot more information during our quarterly meetings. And if something comes up, it's also the call of the chair to be able to schedule a meeting if need be.
Outstanding.
And Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, and hopefully I'm going to try and put Stephen Hewitt on the spot. There we go. We're going to try and pull up the video that Ms. Knight provided for Water Conservation Month.
Oh,
so
okay, great.
See if we can't get that played.
Maybe.
And while he's working on pulling that up, Mr. Mayor, if you wanted to continue.
Yeah. Okay. If we get the video, we'll come back to it. The Economic Incentive Board meeting, which took place on Tuesday, April 12th, we kind of covered it in the agenda item that you took action on tonight, but Mr. Howald, did you want to?
No, I guess the only, we heard also from the Clovis Economic Development Corporation, Mr. Lee Malloy, as well as Ms. Goss, and they're working on a lot of exciting different projects in trying to respond to requests for information. And so there's a lot of activity starting to happen. Obviously, we hope that they all come to fruition, but they're continuing and working hard to try and recruit industry into our area. So also heard from them.
Yeah, great. Great point and worth making mention of. As you all know, Clovis Economic Development is still without an executive director. However, Lee Malloy is really working hard and doing a good job filling in that role, and it's very exciting to visit with him and hear about all of the activity and the leads that he's working on and following up with. And so very excited about the economic base employer recruitment activities and the opportunities that exist, and there's a lot of exciting hope about the future here in Clovis. Still don't have a video, so we'll move on to Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, which took place on Wednesday, April 13th.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Planning and zoning continues to be busy. We've been getting a lot of zone changes. Subdivisions are continue to apply for replats and other items. And then we have the political sign just changed a while ago. I think it's important to have that since a lot of people tend to leave their signs there forever. We need to clean that up. But again, it's a good thing that we have with the planning and zoning, with the zone changes and new subdivisions.
Yeah, very exciting. Thanks for that report, Commissioner Garza. It is exciting to see all the activity which we see come to your agenda here with the activity with housing, both single family and multifamily. And you know, it's exciting to see the market responding to the need and the demand here in our community, and glad to see that happening. Thank you for your report. The Ute Reservoir Water Commission actually met yesterday. That's not one that meets very frequently. It had been almost a year and a half since that commission met. We did meet yesterday down at Eastern Plains Council of Governments boardroom. The agenda included election of officers and by the way, I was elected chairman of that commission. And Mayor of Portales, Ron Jackson, was elected, or re-elected rather, to the vice chairman position on that commission. So we did the housekeeping stuff, approved the Open Meetings Act resolution, and then also heard a report from the Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority on the Ute Pipeline project. Any other reports?
Mayor, I apologize, we're not be able to get it.
No, not doing, okay, very good. All right, very well. Well, in that case, are there future agenda items that we need to discuss?
Mayor, the only items that I have right now will be the Emergency Management Performance Grant, the MPG grant application approval. Texaco FAA have asked if they can come to the commission meeting to talk for about 15 minutes to give a presentation. It's something they're required to do. So they're hoping to be able to do that at the next meeting. We will be having some revisions, introduction of an ordinance regarding the Economic Incentive Board, because of course the powers and duties of that board will now be changing because of the changes in the Economic Development Act. And then also on the economic development front, it's Economic Development Week, May 9th to 13th, and so we'll be coming to you for a proclamation for that as well.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Commissioners, or Mayor Pro Tem, any items that you have to bring up for future agendas?
Mayor?
Yes.
Claire, could we get a report from Retail Strategies? We haven't heard from them in several months, or the commission hasn't.
Yeah, so thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, Commissioner Casals. They're actually going to be here in person, the second meeting in May, to give a report to you.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Commissioner. Appreciate that. Anything else? Very well. We will move on to announcement of date, time, and place of city board and commission meetings. The Clovis-Carver Library Board will meet at 5:30 p.m. Monday, April 25th, here in the North Annex. The Public Works Committee will meet at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday, April 27th. And the Finance Committee will meet at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, April 27th, in the small conference room at City Hall. Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority will meet at 3 p.m. on Thursday, April 28th. Your agenda says in Texaco. We will actually be meeting in Portales at the, I believe, the Portales Chamber of Commerce boardroom. Civil Aviation Board will meet at 5:30 p.m. on May 2nd, and our next City Commission meeting is at 5:15 p.m. on May 5th. With that, I would just like to remind everyone, please pray for rain. And Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem, it's always a pleasure. We are adjourned.